the pharmacovigilance of Unani drugs. Particularly, we are focusing about the Unani drugs and overview. I thought this is for the first time I'm addressing the community of Unani medicine from government of Telangana at the state Telangana. So this is in fact a brief understanding about what exactly the pharmacovigilance, how this pharmacovigilance is going to have impact on the Unani drugs. So this is a first of its kind, a webinar which is being organized by the Intermediate Pharmacovigilance Center in collaboration with Government Nizamiya Tibbi College Hospital, Charminar. This is an awareness program on pharmacovigilance. Dear friends, as the man who is associated with this project of pharmacovigilance, I thought let me enlighten that what we are going to learn today, what we are going to understand as this next 45 minutes. I try to make it, this objective of the presentation is, let us try to understand what exactly pharmacovigilance, and at the same time we'll try to understand the objectives of the pharmacovigilance. This pharmacovigilance is established, what is the objective, followed by our intention is to create awareness among the stakeholders of ASU drugs. This where stand for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy drugs. The stakeholders includes the people who are directly or indirectly associated with the propagation of Ayurveda system of medicine in general, and in very specific to Unani, like doctors, physicians, teachers, researchers, students, and all the paramedical staff involved in the healthcare delivery system of the ASU, including the pharmaceutical people, the people who are involved in the preparation of the drugs, marketing the drugs, and also the people who are consuming the drugs are also comes under the definition of the stakeholders of Ayush system of this stakeholders. And as I said, to create awareness about reporting of the adverse drug reaction and some of the objectionable advertisement. This objectionable advertisement, as there are other, I can say these are the misleading advertisement, which makes a lot of economical burden to the community. So in total, these are all the few things which we would like to cover during the presentation. As I hope all of you know, the pharmacovigilance, according to the WHO, this is a science and activities relating to detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effect or any other possible drug-related problems. As a whole, it means we are trying to understand, as a physician prescribes drug to the patient with the intention of giving cure to certain indication, but we don't know sometimes what happened beyond the expectation. Some uneventual effect or noxious effect will be reported from the patients. So here we are trying to focus about the adverse effect. Other than adverse, any other possible drug-related problems will be detected, assessed, understand, and will try to prevent. That is, as a whole, the pharmacovigilance is going to deal. But in the recent past, under the definition of the pharmacovigilance, apart from the drug, it is also included, it covers all the medicines which are considered as the herbals or the herbal drugs, traditional and complementary alternative medicines, where every nation is having their own traditional medicine that is considered as a complementary by the WHO, all such a medical practices, blood products, biologicals, medical devices, what they are using for different purpose, including Unani also, we are using so many medical devices. I'll try to enlighten what are the equipments we considered as a medical device, vaccines, substandard medicines, medication error, some of the drugs using, though their efficacy report is not, in the sense lack of efficacy report, use the best examples of some of the drugs that I will try to place before you. Without looking to the limitation of the use of the drugs, sometimes we are abusing and misusing of the medicines. And we know all of that. Some drugs may have interaction with drugs, drug with the food. Apart from this, here I have mentioned, this is a highlighted one. Ours is the only nation which included misleading advertisement or the objectionable advertisement under the domain of the pharmacovigilance. Other than India, no other country has paid attention toward the misleading advertisement under the domain of the pharmacovigilance. For that, I'll try to explain why India has put misleading advertisements or objectionable advertisement under the domain of the pharmacovigilance. So as a whole, pharmacovigilance is going to deal with any drug, any complementary and alternative medicine, any substance which is used for the purpose of treatment, diagnosis, or mitigation of the symptoms which may cause adverse effect or any new effect is going to detect, assess, and understanding with the help of pharmacovigilance. I would like to bring your attention here. If you look at this, is the first picture which is explaining about in the year 1848, an unexplained death was happened where a 14-year girl, she was suffering with inverted toe nail was there, and she was being operated for this. At this picture, here I was just trying to explain the reason how this pharmacovigilance came into existence. It was in the year 1848. A girl was operated as an anesthetic. Chloroform was used. This chloroform was applied over as a local application, and that this was the period in 1840. There was no anesthetic drugs. People who are with a good intention use a chloroform as this inhaler to induce anesthetic effect. But this particular girl of 14 years, for a small reason, she met with the fate of elixir which was provided to the pediatric dosages. People who have consumed also met with the fate of a death. That is just because of the diethyl glycol as a anti-freezing agent, and it is one of the nephrotoxic drug. This was happened in 1937. So these two incidents make the people globally to think about the safety of the drug before going to marketing. But at the same time, in the year 1961, thalidomide, basically thalidomide is indicated for a neurological pain, but in the post-World War, people started using it as a hypnotic, a drug to induce sleep. But luckily, some of the obstetrician, they found that the people who are in the early phase of pregnancy who are suffering with the primary hyperemesis gravidarum, they consume this thalidomide to get a good sleep. By the same time, they have reported the good effect on the hyperemesis gravidarum. Likewise, of the prescription, thalidomide is being used by most of the pregnant ladies those days to control their vomiting associated with the pregnancy. But as an end result, around 10,000 people gave birth to the people who are having deficient limbs or there. An abnormal development of the limb, this condition is called as a phocomelia. Since 1960, after this thalidomide disaster, globally the people started focusing about that no drug will be marketed or no drug will be dispensed to the patient without assessing the efficacy, safety as well as efficacy. Likewise, the stringent rules started, and this is supposed to be the genesis of the formation or genesis of the pharmacovigilance in the conventional medical sciences. Likewise, even though 1960, after the thalidomide disaster, United States of America Food FDA, they have provided a very strong instruction guidelines. No drug should be marketed without indication and proper testing the drug safety and efficacy. But I would like to bring to the august audience who are attending this webinar. In the recent past, in Hyderabad city itself, in the pediatrics Nilofer hospital also, there was a news where children were given, instead of paracetamol, the tramadol tablet was given, supposed to be, this is the news, as a result, what gross mistake leads to the death of certain children. I believe you people are right. Try to recall that incident which has happened in the past few years back at the Nilofer Hospital, Children's Hospital in Hyderabad. That is just because of the medication error, because the drugs which are looks alike, accidentally the person who are involved in the drugs, instead of providing the paracetamol, they disperse the tramadol, and tramadol leads to the death of certain children. And here I have another example. Barshasha is one of the opioid preparation which is generally recommended in Unani medicine for inducing sleep. And Kamini Vidharva, this is one of the Ayurvedic preparation. The reports from the New Zealand says that these are the two drugs are being used by the people who are habituated to opioid and opium derivatives, because opium and opioid preparations are prohibited there by the government. So they indirectly came to know about these are the preparation contains opium and some narcotic substances. They started using Barshasha and Kamini Vidharva in the New Zealand, according to the New Zealand press report. So this is another way of misusing of the drugs, which also causes something wrong. Let me try to bring the attention of all of you people. Since 2016, Government of India has inhibited or prohibited a ban on the drugs like Vicks Action Rub and Vicks Action 500, Fencidil and Corex, because these are the drugs which are being marketed for cough and cold like a condition, but their ingredients efficacy has not been proven. If you look at the report of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, around 330 fixed common dosage preparations were prohibited, imposed ban that cannot be marketed. Out of that, these three like Action, I said Action 500, Fencidil and Corex is the very common drugs which is being inhibited by the Government of India. So the reasons are, apart from this, these drugs are likely to be used for some other purposes. Let me take the pharmacovigilance timeline. As I said, in 1848, Hannah Greener was happened. The death occurred due to the chloroform application of the chloroform as anesthetics. And after that, if you go through this continuously, in the year 1937, I said elixir sulfanilamide tragedy, which causes around 117 children died due to the solvent ethyl glycol 37. And finally, in the 1961, Pharmacovigilance has happened due to the non-indicated use of the thalidomide drug as a over-the-counter drug. All these things which makes the government at the different level to have some international drug safety monitoring system. In the 1968, WHO started one international drug safety monitoring system. And this international drug monitoring system, the objective is otherwise, they are focusing upon all drugs and drug-like substances which are used for any purpose. If they cause any adversaries or any new kind of findings, should be reported appropriately. So, likewise, 1968 is the Srinagar, we have Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Bhopal, and like several around 15 Kurnool, around 15 peripheral pharmacovigilance centers that are dedicatedly working on collecting the adverse drug reaction associated with the drugs. They will be escalated the information to the intermediary center of Bangalore, from where we will forward the information to the National Pharmacovigilance Center at Delhi. From there, all such adverse drug reaction will be analyzed and they will forward it to the WHO center, that is Geneva. From there, it will go to the Uppsala. Likewise, Government of India has made a very concrete and very program of this pharmacovigilance. All adverse drug reaction reporting with the help of the people like all of you at the ground level will be forwarded to the highest international drug monitoring center. From there, they analyze the report and they'll try to find out what exactly the drugs which are causing adverse drug reaction. This is one of the best way of assessing the safety and what is called the adverse drugs of the drug. Yeah. In fact, I can say this pharmacovigilance program is having some specific in fact, the specific aim is as a advisors the healthcare delivery system. The specific aim of the pharmacovigilance program is to improve patient care, keeping the safety of the patient in relation to the use of medicine and all medical and paramedical interventions. Nowadays, for any reason, the patient started using either directly as over the counter or as a habitual to use regular drug collective purchase physician or as a prescription of the physician. So we would like to make a machinery improve patient safety with reference to use of medicine and some of the paramedical interventions. The whole purpose is to improve public health and safety in relation to the use of medicine. This is what the specific aim. And accomplish this specific aim of the pharmacovigilance, this project has certain objectives. The primary objective of this program is to develop culturing of reporting of ADRs. In the sense, this program is sensitizing all of you, creating awareness that after the end of this one, you may have some question how we will start reporting. If anything which comes to your notice as an adverse drug reaction that is not intended with the use of the drug, you please try to start reporting. Purpose of our program is to develop the culture voting by sensitizing all of people. We success, we get success in this one. With the help of this, we would like to involve more healthcare professionals monitoring and information dissemination process. As I said in the beginning, healthcare professionals means most of the stakeholders, which includes physicians, researchers, teachers, students, even the paramedical staff who are directly involved in the dispensing of the drugs. Ultimate aim or objective of the program is to develop operational efficiencies that would make our ASU system of drugs a benchmark for global drug monitoring endeavors. I would like to bring your attention in the past few years back, most of these international communities, they have denied to accept some of the Ayush drugs. Out of such a drug, Safi is one of the drugs which has been uh, not accepted by the global community because they have found that Safi syrup contains some of the heavy metals which are beyond the recommended dose for their nations. The reasons are so many. Likewise, different nations they have reported that some substances, ingredients which contains in the preparations are beyond the acceptable range. So now we are emphasizing that to make some operational efficiencies, which country will permit the which drug up to what extent. This can be only happen from the healthcare professionals collaboration and started reporting if Safi contains heavy material, but we don't have any report of adverse drug reaction in Indian continent and the subcontinent Asia. But every nation is having their own limitations. So to make a what is we called as a global drug monitoring endeavor, we need to develop some operational efficiencies. This can only happen with the help of the cooperation of the people who are at the ground level. I would like to bring some interesting facts which makes us how it is generally going to be happen with how people are. Medications, any person who is using medicine as a prophylactic or the therapeutic also, we know that everyone needs medication for some sort of a problem. Like it could be a prophylactic or therapeutic, as I said. But now the fact is 1 in 4 patients faces severe or life-threatening harm with the use of medicines. So this is one of the biggest concern. And what we have found is how these medications may happen cause errors. Here, I would like to say medication error is defined failure in the treatment process that leads to or has the potential to harm the patient. How it is going to harm the patient? We found 3 different things are there. Some prescribing errors are there. Like nowadays, people's awareness toward receiving the treatment is increased abruptly. So all the patient focuses to receive treatment at the qualified doctors. And some doctors, they have a huge number of outpatient scenario. We often wrongly dispensing, how the drugs are administration, how the errors are happening during the administration. Let me take this example here. Prescription error. Here, I think I feel very happy to make myself as a bilingual here. अगर आप यहाँ गौर करोगे एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन हमारे पास है गवर्नमेंट जनरल हॉस्पिटल नलगोंडा तेलंगाना राष्ट्रम DME biter rogi chiti. This is a OPD chiti number. Peru, the name of the patient, something is there, and this was supposed to be issued on 5th of November, 5th of December. If you look at this, the Mark region, being a government hospital, the consultant is supposed to be a medical practitioner, institutionally qualified person who endows the clinical symptom of the patient like gula gula. Jalabu. Gula gula stands supposed to be the itching, it seems to be. Jalabu stands for running nose. And see, the prescription shows the etiquettes of the person who is going to deal. And the prescription error, both the symptoms are quite different. But you look at the prescription, the CPM was given by the doctor, and permethrin lotion is advised to use for gula gula. That is itching, it seems to be. For Jalabu, they have given prescription. And this particular prescription came to the notice of the pharmacovigilance as a remarkable thing. And I would like to take your attention here in this probably you can able to see this is one of the prescription given by the physician. Damn sure it is very difficult to understand what drug they have prescribed, but the pharmacist people are able to understand what exactly the drugs prescribed by the physician. Sometimes there may be difficulty in understanding that can leads to wrong dispensing of the drugs to the patient and wrong administration of the drugs also. Here also there is another example. You can see here a huge list of drugs. Without looking into the drug-drug interaction, a prescription is given. This is generally I just thought to bring your attention how this prescription can cause errors, how it may cause dispensing error also. Here, I would like to show some of the interesting facts with related to Ayurveda, Unani, some indigenous kind of medicine, particularly Unani, dispensing cum administration. If you look at the color, they are alike. Of course, this is a different. I hope that you may be able to understand this. Which one is Jawarish, which one is Majun, and which one is Khamir. And what happened now, sometime during the dispensing to the patient, there is a chances of error from the person who is dispensing the medication because they are looks alike. Or otherwise, if you give this medication to the patient, instead of Majun, if you cases of wrong administration of the drug and wrong dispensing of the drugs, because if you can able to make a package labeled containers, that is well and good, but most of the hospitals they have a huge quantity of drug which is packed in a particular specific quantity. From there they used to dispense. So the chances of dispensing at the pharmacy levels are more. The chances of consuming by the patient is also more. Of course, if a person who is taking Majun instead of Jawarish or Itrifil or Khamira, the ADR may not be up to the extent, but think about that. Here we have a Marhame Gulabi that is specifically indicated for some skin elements, and this is a Rogane Hindi for particular diseases, and this one is a Zimade Nana, which is for a pain management, that what generally we use. There, even though it is a clearly mentioned over the container, this is a Zimade Nana local use, but there are cases, reported cases, people instead of applying over topically, they use orally, and oils also instead of applying over the body part, they took orally and applied some of the majuns and the jawarishas topically. So somewhere due to the lack of understanding of the patient or lack of communication from the physician, lack of appropriate prescription by the doctor is also causing chances of medication error. All such medication errors may, I'm not sure, may likely to have pharmacovigilance kind of activities. Dear friends, as a pharmacovigilance asset, repeatedly we are focusing about the reporting of adverse drug reaction. We have certain terminologies we use. Here the side effect. Basically, adverse drug reaction is a type of a side effect only, but side effects are quite different in the sense this is a non-specific term described as an unwanted effect of the drug. जैसे हम समझते हैं कि साइड इफेक्ट तो हम सब समझते हैं कि जिस दवा का जिस गर्ज से हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं उसके बरअक्स अगर कोई चीज रूनुमा हो तो हम उसको साइड इफेक्ट कहते हैं. बट टू द बेस्ट ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, साइड इफेक्ट्स आर द नॉन फार्माकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट ऑफ द ड्रग. मिसाल के तौर पे अगर आप माजून अजराखी दे रहे हो या हब अजराखी दे रहे हो, अजराखी की से मुताल्लुक इसकी एडवर्स इफेक्ट हमें पता है, साइड इफेक्ट हमें पता है, बशर्ते कि उन साइड इफेक्ट को रोकने के लिए उसकी खुराक में कमी की जाती है. और अजराखी या विष, अफ्यून जैसे मुरक्कबात में जब हम उनको इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो उनको मुदब्बर करते हैं. मान लीजिए मुदब्बर करने के बावजूद भी कभी कभी कुछ दवाएं कुछ साइड इफेक्ट बताती हैं. दीज आर द नॉन वन. I hope that you got the point. Side effect is the non-pharmacological activity which is unintended and unwanted effect with a non-specific term used generally. But हमारे यहाँ रिपोर्ट्स काफी मिल चुके हैं. हब्बे शिफा एक दवा है जिसमें उसके बहुत सारे different, but we have received the ADRs associated with Habbe Shifa. Even Majune Dabitalwar is also reported by some people, some ADRs are there. जोशांदे मुंजिज बलगम से भी हमें ADRs मिले हुए हैं. यहाँ तक कि कुश्ता this is what is called as Sadaf से भी हमें we have got some sort of a adverse drug reaction. But the dosage we have taken care. कहने का मतलब है कि adverse drug reaction में a response to a drug which is unintended and noxious, harmful, which occurs at the normal dosage. Here we are not giving any drug beyond the prescribed. The suboptimal dose bhi nahi hai or overdose bhi nahi hai. In a normal dose only given to the people for the purpose of treating some diseases or to diagnose some condition or therapeutic of the disease for any purpose. The drug has given in a normal dosage for one particular purpose, but it has given noxious unintended effect. And now here we have some suspicious causal relationship. हम सोचते हैं कि इस दवा को देने के बाद हाँ महज इस पर्टिकुलर दवा की वजह से कोई एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन हो सकता है. So we tried to have some suspicion about the cause and relationship of the adverse drug reaction. ये होता है adverse drug reaction. Sometimes what happens, no, these adverse drug reactions are very serious. That can lead to death of the individual. Or sometimes a patient who is receiving treatment in the hospital, their hospitalization will be prolonged. They have to continue for a long time. Sometimes it may causes a persistent, significant the disability or incapacity to continue the survival of the life. Sometimes some drugs, the serious adverse drugs may also causes life-threatening also. Like there are so many events which are there. So in pharmacovigilance, we generally deal with these kind of terms, that serious adverse drug reaction, more focusing on the drug adverse drug reaction. Otherwise, they are also called as the side effects only. Unknown side effects. These are the terminologies one should be know in this one. And now this particular adverse drug reaction को classify किया गया है based upon the severity. If the ADR is minor, when we call it as a minor ADR, when we call it as a moderate, when we call it as a severe and lethal, let us try to find out it is in conjunction with based on the onset of the ADR. जैसे मतलब आपने कभी किसी को कोई दवाई दिए हो तो एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन कब रूनुमा होता है उसकी बुनियाद पे हम तय कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि किसी पेशेंट को आपने कोई दवा दिया, दवा इस्तेमाल करने के लेस देन 60 मिनट्स में अगर कोई रिएक्शन हो रहा है, जैसे हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी रिएक्शन 1 की कैटेगरी में जो भी आएगा, जैसे इचिंग, पैप्यूल्स, एरिथमा, ऐसे कुछ हो, स्किन लीजन्स हो, समटाइम गैस्ट्रिक इरिटेशन, वॉमिटिंग, नाजिया, which is happened less than 60 minutes हो तो we call it as an acute adverse drug reaction. But sometimes what happened, no, you have administered the drug and there was something happened between 1 to 24 hours. यानी दवा खाने के 1 घंटे से ज्यादा और 24 घंटे यानी 1 दिन के अंदर महज दवा की वजह से कुछ गैर तबई सूरत अगर रूनुमा हो तो we call it as a subacute kind of adverse drug reaction. But कुछ दवाएं ऐसे होती हैं जो 2-3 दिन के बाद कुछ एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन होते हैं जो क्यूमुलेटिव इफेक्ट ऑफ द ड्रग होता है जिसे हम कहते हैं लेटेंट काइंड ऑफ एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन. ये कुछ थे जो हम माइनर बिल्कुल नजरअंदाज किया जा सकता है जिसमें किसी दवा के रोकने से भी मामला दुरुस्त हो जाएगा. मॉडरेट भी ऐसे ही है. सीवियर में हो सकता है कि मरीज को हॉस्पिटलाइज करें और जिस दवा को दिया गया उसको रोकें और उसका एंटीडोट देने की नौबत आ जाए. Lethal is the one just because of the consumption of the drug immediately the person who received the drug went into the matter of death. इनके अलावा विल्सन ब्लॉन का क्लासिफिकेशन है जिसमें हम ADRs of type A, type B, type C, type D है. बहुत सारे टाइप हैं but I would like to say type A is augmented one. अमूमन होता क्या है कि augmented one में हम जब मुख्तलिफ दवाएं देते हैं तो दवाओं के कुछ फार्माकोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटीज के कंजंक्शन की वजह से होने वाले एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन होते हैं. टाइप बी में बिल्कुल बिज़ार काइंड होते हैं. The most important which I would like to focus is the type D, delayed kind of adverse drug reaction. अमूमन आयुष सिस्टम के ड्रग्स में टाइप डी रिएक्शन देखा गया है क्योंकि ये वो दवाएं हैं जो कंटिन्यूअसली इस्तेमाल करते हैं. मिसाल के तौर पे ऐसे बहुत सारे वाकयात हमारे पास रिपोर्ट हैं जो किए गए हुए हैं. कुश्तास, भस्मास, और बहुत सारी दवाएं जिसे अमूमन मरीज 3-4 महीनों से ज्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं. सो ऑल सच ड्रग्स स्टार्टेड डूइंग डिलेड काइंड
आप
ऑफ एडवर्स
फोन
ड्रग
से
रिएक्शन,
ये लिंक
right?
खोलेंगे क्या?
So we have reported
So that
type
you can
A,
admit
type B, and
people.
type D kind of
Open
drug
people.
adverse drug reactions are very common among the Ayush people. इसके अलावा एक और क्लासिफिकेशन जो हम फॉलो करते हैं एडीआर के लिए, डोज रिलेटेडनेस. मिसाल के तौर पर मैंने कहा जवारी श्यामला को 7 ग्राम सुबह शाम दे दीजिएगा, 15 ग्राम भी दे दीजिए, शायद उसका मसला नहीं होगा. जबकि बरशाशा की मिकदार जो 1 ग्राम या 1 माशा है, उसको अगर 5 माशे दे देंगे तो मुमकिन है इट कॉजेस एडीआर. जैसे बिल्कुल हमने हब्बे बीज के मुरक्कबात है, जैसे हब्बे हिंद जीकी ले लीजिएगा, हब्बे अजरा के ले लीजिएगा, और ऐसे दवाएं जिसके अंदर दर्जे चारूम की दर्जे सुवम की जो दवाइयां हैं, उन तमाम दवाओं को अगर डोज ज्यादा दे देंगे तो दैट में कॉजेस प्रॉब्लम. समथिंग इज टाइम रिलेटेडनेस. कुछ रिएक्शंस होते हैं जो टाइम से, जैसे हमने बताया कि टाइप डी एंड यहाँ जो अक्यूट एंड लेटेंट काइंड है उनके लिए. कुछ ऐसी दवाएं भी होती है जो ससेप्टेबिलिटी की बेस पे, हम शक सुबह की बुनियाद पे हम तय कर सकते हैं कि मुमकिन है ये दवाइयां रिएक्ट ड्रग. ये कैसे किया जाएगा? इसमें हम 2 तरीके इस्तेमाल करते हैं. एक तो वक्त तय करेंगे, डी चैलेंज करते हैं. डी चैलेंज मतलब आपको लगा कि किसी दवा के इस्तेमाल से एडीआर हो रहा है तो फौरी उस दवा को रोक दिया जाए. रोग के 2-4 दिन की मुद्दत तक देखा जाए कि इमीडिएटली उसके सिम्टम्स मरीज को जो एडीआर है वो अगर डिसअपियर हो जाए तो यू कैन थिंक अबाउट दैट द डी चैलेंज इज पॉजिटिव, यानी हमने ड्रग विड्रॉ कर दिया, एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शंस खत्म हो गए, सिम्टम खत्म हो गए. फिर कुछ मुद्दत के बाद अब वही दवाई दे रहे हो जिसके इस्तेमाल से एडीआर रिपोर्ट किए जा रहे हैं, तो हम कहते हैं उसको रीचैलेंजिंग. मान लीजिएगा कि जिस दवा को सस्पेक्ट करके हम दोबारा दवाई दे रहे हैं उससे अगर एडीआर रूनुमा हो जाए तो हम कहते हैं उसको रीचैलेंजिंग. इट मींस रीचैलेंजिंग इज द विथड्रॉइंग ऑफ द डब्ल्यूएचओ ने असेसमेंट स्केल डेवलप किया है जिसे कहते हैं एडवर्स इवेंट्स के लिए डब्ल्यूएचओ असेसमेंट स्केल. एक और स्केल है जिसे कहते हैं नारंजो स्केल ऑफ एडवर्स ड्रग असेसमेंट, जिसमें आप दवाओं को लेकर स्कोर होता है, कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. तो जितना टोटल स्कोर होगा उसकी बुनियाद पे आप तय कर सकते हो. अगर हायर स्कोर होगा तो कहेंगे कि हाँ सर्टनली इस दवा के नतीजे में हुआ है. अगर कुछ चीजें स्कोर अगर कम होगा तो हम कहेंगे कि प्रोबेबली मुमकिन है इसकी वजह से होगा, पॉसिबली यही दवाई है. एक और स्कोर होता है जो बिल्कुल कम होगा, बोलते हैं नहीं इससे कोई ताल्लुक ही नहीं, इस दवा की वजह से हुआ, अनलाइकली. समटाइम वी कॉल इट एज ए कंडीशनल एंड अनएक्सेसिबल. बाज़ वक्त ये होता है कि आप एडीआर असिस्ट कर रहे हो लेकिन आप तय नहीं कर पा रहे हो कि इसको किस जमीन में शामिल किया जाएगा, तो ऐसे असेसमेंट को हम कहते हैं अनएक्सेसिबल और अनक्लासिफाइबल. सो डब्ल्यूएचओ के अलावा नारंजो स्केल ऑफ एडीआर असेसमेंट एक टूल है जिसकी बुनियाद पे हम तय कर सकते हैं कि आया किस दवा की वजह से ये प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, और हो भी रहा है तो ये माइल्ड है, मॉडरेट है, सीवियर है. तो यहाँ मैं इस बात को खत्म करते हुए आगे ले जा रहा हूँ. अब तक हमारे पास यूनानी की जो रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं, करीबन 300-350 रिपोर्ट्स में 4 सिर्फ मॉडरेट किस्म के एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन रहे हैं, बाकी सारे माइल्ड ही रहे हैं जो हमारी कैजुअलिटी असेसमेंट टीम ने असिस्ट किया. राइट, जैसे मैंने शुरू में बताया था, इस प्रोग्राम का मकसद है एक तो फार्माकोविजिलेंस को समझना, और दूसरी बात उसके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को समझना है. तीसरी बात ये है कि हम एक कल्चर डेवलप करें एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शंस को रिपोर्ट करने का. उम्मीद करता हूं कि अब तक आपको एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन क्या है और कैसे रिपोर्ट किया जाएगा मैं आपको बता दूंगा. दूसरी बात जो ऑब्जेक्टिव था उसमें मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट और ऑब्जेक्शनेबल एडवर्टाइजमेंट. पहले हम इस बात को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे ये ऑब्जेक्शनेबल एडवर्टाइजमेंट या मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट क्या होते हैं. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडीज एक्ट 1954 क्यों ले आया हुआ था, इससे कबल मैं आपको कुछ चीजें बताना चाहता हूँ. ये ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट में बाकायदा 1954 में लाया गया था, तो जिसमें बाकायदा लिखा हुआ है कि ड्रग किसको कहते हैं। ड्रग का बैरूनी और अंदरूनी तौर पर इस्तेमाल करने वाला चीज है जो इंसानों में और जानवरों में, वह इलाज की गर्ज से हो, डायग्नोसिस की गर्ज से हो, या अलामत को कम करने के लिए हो, या किसी बीमारी को रोकने के लिए हो। तो ये तमाम चीजें डेफिनेशन बताई गई ड्रग किसे कहेंगे। मैजिक रेमेडी से मुराद क्या है? मैजिक रेमेडी इज समथिंग विच इंक्लूड्स तावीजात, पलीदे और ऐसे कुछ चढ़ावे जिसके इस्तेमाल से हम ये कह रहे हैं कि इनके इस्तेमाल से आपको बहुत ही मुहिर लखत चीजें रुकना होंगी। जैसे मिराकुलस पावर्स हैं जिसके इस्तेमाल से आपकी बीमारी जाती रहेगी, आपका मर जाएगा, आप सही हो जाओगे। दिस इज वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजन बिकॉज कंट्री लाइक इंडिया, people are more prone to take magic remedies from the तरफ रुझान ज्यादा हो रहा है। तो नतीजा हो क्या रहा है कि इस तरह के ट्रेडिशनल हीलर, मैजिक रेमेडी करने वाले लोग बहुत तरीके से, मुख्तलिफ तरीकों से, इवन डॉक्टर्स, नॉन इंस्टीट्यूशनली क्वालिफाइड प्रैक्टिशनर्स ने मुख्तलिफ तरीकों से अपनी तशहीर करना शुरू कर दिया। दे स्टार्टेड एडवर्टाइजिंग देयर क्लेम्स विद रेफरेंस टू ऑडियो, विजुअल, androgen pronouncement. Ultimately, they are trying to convince the people that are misleading to the people. So as a result, ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट 1954 के डिफरेंट सेक्शंस में इन बातों को समझा गया हुआ है कि अगर कोई भी शख्स इसको वायलेट करेगा तो होगा क्या। कहने का मतलब है कि ये ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट का मकसद ये है कि जो गैर जरूरी एडवर्टाइजमेंट जो मिसलीड कर रहे हैं, ऑब्जेक्शनेबल है, उन पे, और ऐसी दवाएं और ऐसी तदाबीर जो बाजार में सेल कर रहे हैं, सेल ऑफ ड्रग्स एंड मैजिक रेमेडीज को रेगुलेट किया जाए, कैसे उन पे पाबंदी आयद किया जाए, so that the government can prevent false and misleading claims, and ultimate aim is to protect the public from the fraudulent and unscientific products. आइए कुछ चीजें, दिलचस्प चीजें मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। उम्मीद के यहाँ आपको कुछ चीज समझ में आएगी। दिस इज वी हैव कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम द हैदराबाद रिपोर्टिंग ओनली। पहला ऐड दिखा रहे गुर्दे और पित्ते की पत्थरी के मरीजों के लिए खुशखबरी। गुर्दे और पित्ते की पत्थरी पिघलकर साफ और दोबारा पथरी न होने का मुकम्मल इलाज। And we are sure about that. Renal calculi, up to some extent, the nature body itself will try to eliminate it, or some drugs are there that prove to be very good for lithotriptic activity. But here the physician, the person who is claiming that पित्ते की पत्थरी मतलब गाल ब्लैडर स्टोन को पिघल कर साफ खारिज कर देगा, मुकम्मल इलाज, एंड अश्योरिंग दैट दोबारा पथरी ना होने का मुकम्मल इलाज। So this advertisement is falsely claiming that if you are going to receive the treatment from my end, I am assuring you, ये कह रहा है कि खानदानी सिलसिले से चला आ रहा है, no side effect. My dear friends, we know that there is no drug with inherent, I think there is no drug which is free from side effects. Every drug is having some inherent adverse effects also. Even the water also take in inappropriate quantity that may causes some side effect also. According to the Drug Magic Remedy Act, Section 3, this is an objectionable. This kind of appeal should not be made. यहाँ एक और ऐड देखिएगा जिसमें लिखा हुआ है, well experienced, dedicated male female doctors available for your ultimate health. 100% herbal treatment, no side effect. This is objectionable. If you are using herbal treatment, good, but you cannot claim no side effect. And consultation for all chronic diseases including thyroid, cancer, ये शुगर कोई बीमारी नहीं है, होने वाली बीमारियों की पहचान है, कंप्लीट कैंसर का इलाज, ये सारी चीजें मिसलीड कर रही हैं मरीजों को। मैं आपको एक चीज आप लोगों को दिखाना चाह रहा था कि शेड्यूल मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट में जो शेड्यूल बताया गया हुआ है उसमें करीबन 78 डिजीजेस ऐसे हैं जिसपे कोई भी बंदा अपील नहीं कर सकता। जैसे इसमें लिखा एड्स, पेक्टोरिस, एपेंडिसाइटिस, एथेरोस्क्लेरोसिस। लाइक इफ यू लुक एट दिस मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट 2023 में ऐसे करीबन तमाम डिजीज का डिस्क्रिप्शन किया गया है कि इन डिजीजेस पे कोई भी बंदा अपील नहीं कर सकता कि मैं इसका इलाज करूंगा। अगर आप कर रहे हो तो कीजिएगा, बट यू कैन नॉट अपील इट, you cannot bring it to the public notice. शर्तिया का तो बात ही नहीं कर सकते, जिसमें ओबेसिटी, पार्किंसोनिज्म, पैरालिसिस, प्रीमेच्योर ग्रेइंग ऑफ हेयर, एनीथिंग, यू जस्ट गो थ्रू दिस, इट इज अवेलेबल इन द वेबसाइट आल्सो। ये सारी डिजीज हैं। 8.4% of the claim is just talking about obesity and diabetes को कंट्रोल करेंगे। आर्थराइटिस में करीबन 6% ड्रग्स इनके ऐसे हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि हम वी कैन ट्रीट योर आर्थराइटिस कंप्लीटली, एंड ऑलमोस्ट all of them around 4% about de-addiction also, de-addiction of the drugs, alcohol के लिए भी किया जा रहा है। हेयर लॉस, बाल्डनेस के लिए करीबन 8% of the advertisement they are speaking about effective treatment, magic remedy towards all this condition। कहने का मतलब है कि एटलीस्ट इसमें अगर 80 से 90% एडवर्टाइजमेंट हो रहे हैं वो मोस्ट ऑफ द रिपीटेड चैनल्स पे दिखाए जा रहे हैं। सो समवेयर this particular report and some other report from different
someone is there with the program is going on,
government to go for modifying the drug and magic remedy act 1954। हम अगर सिर्फ केरला स्टेट में सन 2019 में
yes sir you are audible but sir voice is not clear,
400 करोड़
many people are speaking in between sir।
तो इन लोगों की आमदनी कितनी होगी देखिएगा, क्योंकि हमारा मानना है कि दवाएं जहां असर
organizer can you get back please,
adverse drug reaction। So if you look at India, different states together, some crores of multiple crores of rupees are spending towards the ad and the people are misleaded with this ad। हमारे पास इंटरमीडिएट फार्माकोविजिलेंस सेंटर में 5 साल में हमने जो डेटा कलेक्ट किया है उसमें 20% ऑफ द ड्रग आर क्लेमिंग अबाउट मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव इंपॉर्टेंस, जिसमें करीबन हमारे पास ऐसे बहुत सारे 15% अबाउट द गायनेकोलॉजिकल डिसीजेस, 12% अबाउट द आई एंड ईयर, कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव पे 5-15% तक हमारे पास अपील आ रही है, and some 5%। Likewise, the 20% तक हमें मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव, गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टिनल, कॉस्मेटोलॉजिकल प्रोडक्ट्स पे लोग अपील कर रहे हैं। गायनेकोलॉजिकल डिसऑर्डर पे भी सारी रिपोर्ट हमारे पास मिसलीडिंग की आ रही है, जिसको हमने बाकायदा रिपोर्ट किया गया, जिसमें काफी एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स को कंट्रोल भी किया गया। नतीजा क्या हो रहा है, मान लीजिएगा अगर कोई शख्स कंटिन्यूअसली इस तरह का मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट पेश भी कर रहा है तो क्या होगा। अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट 1954, जिसका सेक्शन 7 कह रहा है कि अगर आप पहली बार all this kind of misleading advertisement, adverse drug reaction की तो अखलाकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि हमारी साइंस को एडीआर से मुबर्रा करने के लिए, हकीकी तौर पे एडीआर है या नहीं है, वी नीड योर हेल्प फ्रॉम एट द ग्रास रूट लेवल। अगर कोई भी अनइंटेंडेड इफेक्ट है तो आप रिपोर्ट कीजिएगा। मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट खुदा न खास अगर कोई इस तरह का स्टार दे रहा है तो 1954 ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट में इस वक्त अमेंड हो चुका है, जो ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडी एक्ट 2020 के तहत अगर देखा जाए कोई भी शख्स इस तरह की गलत अपील करेगा तो एक बार, पहली बार अगर वो पकड़ा जाएगा, ऑफेंस नहीं विड्रॉ करेगा तो उस पर 10 लाख का जुर्माना और 2 साल तक की कैद बमुशक्कत होगी। बाज़ वक़्त ये हो सकता है कि दोनों चीजें भी लागू हो जाएंगी। अगर किसी ने इग्नोर कर दिया, पहली बार उसको सजा भी होगी, फिर दोबारा भी अगर उसी तरह की हरकत करेगा तो इम्प्रिजनमेंट भी एक्सटेंडेड फॉर 5 years and the penalty of 50 lakh rupees are likely to be there। So government of India has made it, this is a parliamentary act and it is being in action, in force। So you please take care of all your people who are subconsciously doing the mistakes of appealing, misleading the community। जो दावे कर रहे हैं उसको किया जाए। ये पहले हुआ करता था 54 में, पहले तो सिर्फ 6 महीने की सजा होती थी, 1-2 हजार रुपए का जुर्माना होता था, बट ये इसमें अमेंड हो चुका है। अब नाउ द इन फोर्स एक्शन इज 10 लाख की जुर्माना, 2 साल की कैद बमुशक्कत, अगर नहीं मानोगे तो ये 50 लाख का जुर्माना और 5 साल की कैद हो सकती है। दिस इज व्हाट द थिंग व्हाट वी हैव intended to sensitize all of you people। सवाल ये है कि रिपोर्ट कौन करे। मेरा ये जो प्रेजेंटेशन तो हो चुका है, आई एम अवेलेबल टू लर्न समथिंग फ्रॉम योर एंड। अगर आपके कोई सवालात हो, कोई भी क्वेरी हो तो यू फील फ्री, आस्क मी, दैट आई एम हियर टू अटेंड योर ऑल योर क्वेरीज प्लीज।